So before we start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. So let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, week 14 of the NFL season is coming up. And for the Chicago Bears, they will be heading on the road to take on the San Francisco 49ers at Levi's Stadium. Finally, looking for a win after the 6-game losing streak. Can they do it? Well, we'll see. In this video, as always, I'm going to give my 3 keys to the game that I think the Bears should do to be able to win this game. So, without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, guys? KT here, back at it with another video, and today we are doing the Bears. The Bears are heading on the road to take on the San Francisco 49ers at Levi's Stadium in a game that should provide some fireworks and could be a little bit more competitive than it is on paper. The Bears are coming off their embarrassing loss on Thanksgiving to the Detroit Lions. They have been losers of 6 straight since the bye and since that Washington Commanders loss. As for the 49ers, they are coming off 2 straight losses to both the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers in extremely cold weather. They are returning home and they are desperate to look for a win as if they want to stay in contention for the playoffs, and also for the division, because you never know how that will shape up. But anyway, I want to get straight into this video. So my number 1 key going into this game is the Bears have to find a way to get this run game going. We have struggled with our run game all year. This past few games have been a little bit more rough as far as the run game. And, you know, it's a polar opposite of last year, as we've not been able to run the ball when we were able to effectively run the ball last year. Same thing with the run defense this year has been kind of terrible. But the Bears have to find a way to get this run game going, man. If the Green Bay Packers can find a way to get their run game going and they're able to run over this team like they did when they played the 49ers, let me see what they rushed for. You know, this would be a perfect game to get our run game going. The Green Bay Packers, they rushed for over, Josh Jacobs had over 106 yards and 3 touchdowns. And I think just last week, James Cook rushed for over 100 yards and 1 touchdown. And, you know, this is the perfect defense to do it against if you want to get your run game going. Now, the defense for the San Francisco 49ers, it does have pieces on it, but half of those pieces are injured as well. I don't know if Nick Bosa is going to play. I saw Fred Warner last week kind of run off the field for a hot second, but he's been generally, I wouldn't say ineffective, but he's had a down year as well. It's just something about that 49ers defense. They've been giving up a lot of yards on the ground in these recent games, and I feel like the Bears should be able to take advantage of it. DeAndre Swift on the year only has 700 yards and 5 touchdowns, and I just feel like he hasn't really been given the ample opportunity to be able to take advantage of some holes. Part of that is because of offensive line, part of that is because of scheme. We don't really run the ball like we used to. He's only been averaging about 13 carries per game as of recently, so I feel like this would be the perfect game to change that up and maybe give him 20, 21, 25 carries. You won't have Roschon Johnson this week as he's out. I think he's still out with concussion. I'll get the injury report later and post it on the screen later in the video. You know, Travis Homer is the backup. We signed a running back off the practice squad from the Cleveland Browns. So this feels like a week we can get DeAndre Swift involved. I would like to see the Bears at least rush for 108 yards on the day. I feel like that is doable, especially against a defense like this. Also, I'd like to see them kind of switch up the run concept. Maybe, you know, throw more tosses, maybe run more stretch plays, get those athletic tackles and those athletic guards out in the space. Get those guys like Tevin Jenkins and Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright out in space where they can find guys to block, zone in on their mans, and spring DeAndre Swift for a big run. I feel like he hasn't had those in recent weeks. So obviously, get our run game going. It helps your quarterback get comfortable. It makes the offense run smoother. It sets up play action. Always set up that run game. So I feel like we'd be able to do that in this game. If we are, we're going to be able to win. My second key of the game, make Brock Purdy beat you. Make him beat you. This offense for the San Francisco 49ers has been one of the best in the league. It's always consistency. It's always consistently one of the best offenses in the league, led by Kyle Shanahan. But they got all types of weapons: Brock Purdy, Jordan Mason, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Jawan Jennings. Brandon Ayuk went healthy. They have so many weapons on that offense, not to mention their offensive line with Trent Williams. But in recent weeks and throughout the entirety of the season, it just feels like that San Francisco offense just hasn't had the same spunk. Now, they are still 7th rated in the NFL. But these past 2 weeks, they've been struggling. I don't know if that's just because they've been on the road in the cold. It's been snowing up in Green Bay and Buffalo, and they're just not used to that. But part of it also has to do with the fact that the health of the 49ers has not been all that great either. Christian McCaffrey has been in and out of the lineup. Deebo Samuel has been in and out of the lineup. Brandon Ayuk has been out all year. George Kittle has been in and out of the lineup. Trent Williams is hurt. He's been in and out of the lineup. Now Jordan Mason goes on IR with the ankle injury. We know Christian McCaffrey went on IR with a PCL injury. Brock Purdy's been out of the lineup, in and out. So it's just a multitude of things for the San Francisco 49ers. They've had players injured on both sides of the ball. But for the Chicago Bears, we know that Brock Purdy's most likely going to play. But he hasn't had all that great of games this year. He's been up and down. Part of that is due to the talent on the team. Part of that is due to him. He only passed for 94 yards against that Bills defense last week. It just feels like if you can make Brock Purdy beat you, and you have to force him to be the guy on that offense, and you try to make him make these spectacular plays and go up and down the field without that run game, you can kind of beat this team. You can. And, you make him make. Now, I'm not saying Brock Purdy isn't a bad he's not a bad quarterback, but is he able to make that elite play from consistently from start to finish to be able to give his team a chance to win and win these games? And it just hasn't happened. Now, granted, against Green Bay, he did not play in that game, but against Buffalo, he looked kind of pedestrian. He was only 11 of 18 for 94 yards. It just felt like they could get nothing going on offense. And I really think the secondary for the Bears is a lot better than Buffalo's secondary. We have a lot more guys that can make plays on the ball. We don't know what that defense is going to look like now that Matt Eberflus is gone. Now that Eric Washington takes over play calling, we don't know if some of the scheme stuff will be changing. We don't know if some of the assignments will be changing. We just don't know. But I feel like if we can stop that run game, we know Isaac Guriendo is, I think that's how you say his name. He's been called up from the practice squad for the 49ers. I like him. He can run the ball, and it just seems like whoever they put back there can find holes and get big rushes. So I feel like if we're able to stop the run game of the San Francisco 49ers and make Brock Purdy beat us with his arm and make those tough plays, I feel like we'll have a really, really good chance to win this game. With that, in turn of making him throw the ball a lot more and it put the ball in harm's way for an already ball hawking secondary. And I feel like we should have success if we try to make Brock Purdy beat us with his arm. That could be one of the reasons why the Bears are able to win this game. And ultimately, the final key would be I just want to see better coaching decisions going forward. We know we fired Matt Eberflus for that exact reason, as some of the coaching decisions have been extremely poor, especially going late into games like the fourth quarter, third quarter, maybe end of half. Going into these games, big games as well, especially these past three against very good divisional opponents, we've only lost within one score of each of our games. And half of that is because of coaching decisions. Now that Thomas Brown is going to take over, I want to see if he can make those tough coaching decisions that Matt Eberflus couldn't. Can he manage the clock effectively in those late game situations when you only got 40 or 50 seconds on the clock? Can he go? Is he going to show aggressiveness to go for it on those fourth and shorts when you can't punt the ball back to them, or your kicker isn't going to have enough leg to make a field goal from a certain spot? Is he going to be aggressive in those situations, and what is he going to call in those situations, since he's handling that offense now for the Chicago Bears? Is he going to use timeouts correctly? Like I said, comes back to clock management. I know he's not handling defense, but he can check in on the defensive coordinator and ask them, hey, we need to press up on the receivers so they don't gain 15 yards, so they're able to get a game-winning field goal. Just situations like that. Thomas Brown is a young interim head coach. He's looking for a way to break through into the head coaching world. I do think he has that in him. I just need to see it in front of me now that he has a bigger responsibility other than being the offensive coordinator. I could be wrong. I feel like he does have it in him. I could be wrong, but from the way he talks, the way he holds players accountable, the way he conducts himself at press conferences, the way he doesn't try to deflect blame on his players, I think he could be able to do it. Now, we'll see. In this game, especially playing against the San Francisco 49ers and a coach like Kyle Shanahan, you're going to have to be on your A game. Can he outcoach Kyle Shanahan to put his name, to get his name recognized around the league, and to make a statement that, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to take that next big step of being a next great head coach. Can he do that? We don't know. But if the Bears are able to, in this game, conduct the clock well, the coaches are able to make good coaching decisions and not have as much indecisiveness and don't freeze in crucial moments, then I definitely think they have a chance to win this game, with the San Francisco 49ers definitely reeling at this point in the season. Ultimately, I'm going to go with a shocker. I'm going to have the Bears edging out this one 26-23. I do think the 49ers are a better constructed team than the Chicago Bears in many aspects. Maybe not as far as skill position, but just as far as the trenches and maybe certain areas in the linebacking position. They are a little bit more of a talented team, and we just know what the San Francisco 49ers can and could be. We knew what they were going to be going into the season. They're still a talented team. They're going back home. They need to get a win. It's going to be crucial for them to get a win, so they're going to come out with energy and intensity. That being said, they have lost their last two games. Teams have been able to run all over them, and couple that with the fact that the Bears have been able to get the best out of Caleb Williams, especially late game, in the fourth and third quarter, and especially in second halves. I feel like Caleb will have it going in this game if they're able to protect him. I feel like if we're able to run the ball effectively, we can set up play action and get some of those deep shots down the field. Now, I don't know who's on the injury report. I did hear inklings that both Keenan Allen and DJ Moore have been held out of practice on Wednesday, but we don't know if they're going to play or not. But still, I feel like we're catching the 49ers on a bad week where they're missing a lot of guys and they're kind of reeling from those last two losses. That also being said, I feel like Brock Purdy isn't playing his best football. If we're able to stop the run game for the San Francisco 49ers and make Brock Purdy beat us with his arm, I can't see a reason why we shouldn't win this game. And I just feel like the Bears are being slept on a little bit going into this game. I do have them winning by a field goal. I do think it will be close, and I could be wrong. So we'll see. I got the Bears winning 26-23. I think the Bears will shock people in this game because they're desperate for a win as well. And, Thomas Brown wants to make his statement. He wants to make a statement against one of the best teams in the league, at least on paper. And he wants to put his name on the list of top head coaching candidates for the Chicago Bears and other teams around the league. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Who do you have winning? Do you have the 49ers or do you have the Bears? Let me know how and why. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the videos. It helps the channel grow. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop one of these Bears videos. Make sure you guys follow me on social media, as there's bound to be news about the Bears and other things going on over there. And as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Bear down. And I'm out. Peace.